Upasana, he said youth didn't matter. But from your point of view, how important is it for you to be young and driving change? Because it's also interesting that you are not only handling the new businesses of wellness, but you're also managing corporate social responsibility, which brings you to a completely different side of business. So does that make a difference to you? Does your age make a difference when you're attacking these issues of CSR, of social good?
See, a few years ago, someone started this thing called the gift of giving. And I think it was the Times of India. And I really, really took on to that. And I've told everyone, CSR shouldn't be termed as CSR. I think it's a way of life for us Indians. We love giving. We love doing everything from within. So, age I don't think matters here. At whatever age you deal with people, that's fine. For me, dealing with people that are much older than me with CSR, it takes an emotional toll on me. I'll be extremely
The important thing is that what does a person with your background, when you approach things with a new freshness, do you think? Or do you think that you want to do the old things in a better way, or do you want to do new things in a new way?
See, I don't shun the old things. It's there, it's engraved in me, but I will, as I said, will bring about a different change in how I approach things. But this, if you want this outcome, I will get you this outcome, but I'll do it in my way and a more
And how difficult is it for you to do things your way when you have a lot of people who have more experience, who are much older, who say that perhaps that's not the way to do it?
Because, I don't think it's so tough because they also want change. I think they're a bit bored of what they're doing.
They're bored with what they're doing. All right, that's a good thought to come to Kunal. But Kunal, what are the challenges you faced with, you said you experiment with so many different business models, but a very obvious thing to say, and it has been argued, is that younger people succeed in the newer businesses where there are no legacy disadvantages. Would you have been as successful, for example, in manufacturing rather than e-commerce?
Unfortunately, I don't have the experience to comment either way. I don't know. I think life is too short to be doing something you don't enjoy. I don't think I would have enjoyed doing manufacturing, right? So, and I know that with some degree of data because my father is a first-generation entrepreneur who started a manufacturing company, and of course, I have a lot of regard for him as an entrepreneur. But I think my personality would have found it a little hard to do a B2B business, right? And I think. One of the things that we've seen is that I like working with a lot of young people. And a lot of young, very smart people want to work in these type of industries, which is why I feel that I'll always, in this lifetime, have a hard time doing any business which doesn't attract a lot of young talent who's much smarter than I am. And that's why they're able to create the results that they do.
What inspires the young people who work with you? How do you inspire them, and what's driving them?
It's an excellent question, and I think it's a moving target. It's something I think about a lot these days. When you're just starting off, just the joy of survival, of staying in business for one more day, because we've seen times when we had to pay 5 lakhs of salaries the next day and we had 53,000 rupees left in the bank, and Rohit and I had a cumulative savings of 5 lakhs left. And we wrote personal checks, and we were left with, this is 4 years ago, we were left with 26,000 rupees between the two of us total. And I think when you've gone through those phases, just the joy of surviving one more day is inspiring and motivating and galvanizing. Once you're out of that phase, and you go through this phase of growth and hyper-growth, which is what our business is going through right now, that's very motivating for people. It attracts the brightest talent, retains the brightest talent. However, everything forms a new normal, right? Everything forms a new equilibrium. And then you have to rediscover yourself, your culture, your motivations as an entrepreneur, as a manager, as well as a team member. So I read this Chinese saying a year ago, which had a profound impact on me. Chinese sayings have this, I'm sure when they're said in Chinese, they sound very impactful, and they're translated in English, they seem mild. So it went something like this. Basically, everyone in life chases happiness, right? Why they want money, everything is happiness. So if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, get married. if you want happiness for a lifetime, do something meaningful for others. Right? And I think how we've been able to galvanize our team is that we tell them that, guys, we're not coming here to drive top line, bottom line, shareholder value, etc. That's all a byproduct. Why we come to work every day is because we want to create life-changing experiences for small businesses in India. And I've seen, this is stuff I used to hear when I was in college, where they used to tell us about vision, values, mission, etc. And I thought this was all junk. It didn't make any sense to me. It's only the last 1 year that's made so much sense to me why it's important to have a deeper meaning in your company's culture above and beyond just the metrics.
Ullas, do you get the sense that, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience may also feel the same, that a lot of the young people who are doing a great job, they thrive on adrenaline, they thrive on excitement, and they thrive on something new happening all the time. Is that sustainable?
Definitely it's not sustainable. Everybody cannot be Flipkarts, everybody cannot be Kunal. That is taken as, like we should take that as a role example, role models, but we cannot be following them all the time. And most of the people today in technology world, they want to start the business to exit the business. And that's not the way to run a business. All of us, we start a business to run a business. But somebody wants to start a business to exit the business, that business will not take off. And you always see the people.
Is that a youth thing or is it
Absolutely, it's a youth thing.
Okay.
If you see.
So you're saying older people who start businesses don't want to exit?
Not necessarily so. You see, there is a purpose behind everything. There is a knowledge-driven company, so you talk to them through knowledge. A person who comes first in class, he will join Kunal. What happens to the person who comes last in class or who has failed? He joins Jyothi Laboratories Limited, and he becomes a salesperson. He becomes a salesperson. So when a country of 1.2 billion, if everybody wants to come out of the IIT, then what happens? Nothing happens. If everybody wants to start a new company in IT and get $1 billion valuation on the business plan, it won't work that way.
So you're saying that the concept of entrepreneurship for the younger people in India today is very skewed. It's not the right vision for them to have. They don't understand all aspects and dimensions of doing a new business.
Yeah, your question was whether it is sustainable. My answer was no. And answer is no, because Economic Times cannot write the same thing every time on the valuation on the front page. We need jobs to be created. The best CSR, what we can adopt today for India is create jobs, make in India, nothing else. People want security. People want secured income. How many of today's children will say that I'll retire from the same company? If he is talented, he will say it's a matter of 3 years. If it is not talented, he will say, I hope I'll retire from this company. That is the difference. That is the difference. In olden days, we have seen people retiring from State Bank of India, we have seen from Syndicate Bank, we have seen from ICICI, but today you don't see that happening in Yes Bank or IndusInd Bank. Just because that everybody wants to grow faster and faster, that is what worries me from a younger generation point of view.